Welcome to Exp Group Insights. Today's episode, Exp Group is on the podcast now.
All right, Jose. Hello, how are you, sir?
Excellent. Glad to be here in our first podcast.
It is our first podcast. It's our first kind of group discussion together here at Exp Group, and I think it's important. We're here at our headquarters for everyone listening around the globe. We're so lucky to have you listening with us. I'm Anthony Serafino, one of the hosts here at this podcast, and more importantly, the president of Exp Group. And I'm here with Jose Manuel Villacis. He is the senior vice president of LatAm for our organization, Exp Group. Jose, so good to see you and so good to be with you.
Thank you for welcoming me here to the podcast at Exp. Love it.
Thank you so much.
I love this new idea that you had.
Well,
I just can't believe it's
here.
It's now here.
It's here. And I think something we really wanted to discuss with this kind of form of media is not necessarily be a reoccurring weekly thing, but I think it can be an opportunity when we have ideas that we can share it with our industry. But as you know, being in the produce industry, it's not just so much driven just by what we're doing fruits and vegetable wise. There's logistics, there's real estate, there's a lot of things, our culture at our organization. There's many things that make it what we are and who we are. And I think it's important to discuss that in the things we can discuss, of course, but
Absolutely.
With the public.
Yeah. So listen, we know that we are in the produce business, but we also know that produce businesses are very personal. So when you tend to your customer and you serve them, you have to be real with them. Anthony, it's not just about the produce and the quality that we thrive for, but we also like for our customers to be comfortable with us and the way we do business. And this is not only, so I'm mainly a buyer in the company, but I also have a few customers that I sell to. And I love to do it, honestly. It's just, I'm glad to work for this organization, for you, for your dad. The team is great. It's awesome to be here. And to have the opportunity to serve the customers every day. You have to really enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's definitely not just produce. What do you think?
I totally agree. And Jose, first of all, thank you so much for that, the kind words. But at the end of the day, something we discuss in our weekly meetings and something we always discuss on a daily basis is that we're not necessarily in the produce business as well. We're really in the people business. Yeah. I read a book from Howard Schultz, and I listened to him on Masterclass, and he always emphasized this when he was creating Starbucks and their culture. So what I like to do is I take some very successful antidotes and kind of these little gold nuggets from each of these founders at different organizations, and then I bring them together to our organization. I think we do that. I think we try to do that so well. And what Howard Schultz says, he's like, listen, we're not in the coffee business. We're in the people business serving coffee, not coffee business serving people.
Exactly.
So I kind of like that same ethos and that same methodology at our organization. And we have, ideologically speaking, doing exactly that and how we operate with our core values. And you're a testament to that. When you put the right ingredients in a soup, tastes pretty damn good, right? So,
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the culture that we like to do at Exp Group, right? We have great team members as well, and we're growing at a clip where we're doing it the right way. Obviously, we have very lofty goals and ambition, but more importantly, we like to always share about kind of the insides of working for this organization and how it's very culture driven. I think you go to a lot of organizations, and we're picking on produce because that's our main line of business.
Of course.
You go to a lot of different businesses, and they lose the plot a little bit. They lose the plot. It becomes very bureaucratic. There's no doubt that I like to be on the very corporate side of things, but more importantly, have that sense of sweet flavor that we always do as we were growing up as a smaller entity.
Absolutely. Listen, it comes down to the people. If you need to jump red tape to make it happen, we make it happen. If we need to talk to Mario, our vice president of transportation, and ask him, Mario, you need to go here and give this customer 8 boxes of whatever it is, we know we're doing it to serve the customer. We're not going to make money on that delivery. We're probably going to lose money.
Right.
But we gain a lot of trust from the customer. They know that we're going to be there every time. And it's about the people. It's about serving these people that really need EXP and the logistics effort and the buying effort and the selling effort. everything that we do, again, we do it for our customers, but we also enjoy really helping people and working for a fantastic organization that we know is there to serve the customer and to do it right.
I think it's
that's what I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we're very service driven. And if we look at the pillars of our company, and it's something when I read the book about Isidore Sharp, Izzy, who founded the Four Seasons, talks about the pillars of his organization. And he founded the original Four Seasons hotel chain in Canada and Toronto. And he basically talked about service. And service was a big part of that. And I think, not that it's lacking in this industry, because every produce company feels that they have excellent service, but how can we differentiate ourselves in a way where we're very service-driven? And I think you nailed that, Jose, with talking about logistics. I think a lot of these produce companies and different organizations don't understand the emphasis behind logistics and really allowing us to be that kind of company that we strive to be, because we're very logistics driven. And I think Mario Perez, the VP of Transportation at this organization, who I would love to have on here one of these days.
Oh, definitely.
To talk about our logistics operation, how vast it is, but more importantly, showcasing exactly how logistics is really the epicenter of what we do.
Absolutely.
And yes. I think produce driven and the epicenter as well is really being very driven as well.
Yeah, Anthony, if you don't have service, if you don't have the right logistics team, if you don't have every single piece in this organization placed where they are placed, then what do we have really? It's going to be very hard to give the customer that experience. You bring two examples, both are servicing customers. So we are really in the service industry. We just happen to have produce to sell, but we really are here to serve the customer with the specific needs that they may have. This may be a supermarket, this may be a wholesaler. Well, we know what they need, and we know how to do it. We know the produce, the quality, all that is granted, but it's the service, that last mile when we go to the customer and bring the right product to them on time, the right conditions, at the right price, that's what I think separates us from the bunch.
I think there's no doubt about it. And you mentioned this as well, Jose, in talking about that last mile delivery. And it really just shows how much we care about the customer. Every customer is equal to us, no matter how big or how small. They're super important. But once we started putting a really emphasis logistically on servicing the customer, it really transformed our operation a little bit. And I really want to make a focus of that in the future about how our logistics operation, whether it's through technology, whether it's through artificial intelligence, or even more so about how can we just serve the customer in a more efficient manner, whether that's the environment involved or whether that's just the right equipment. I think most importantly, Jose, you mentioned this. You call me at 11, I can get there at 1. You call me at 1:30. If you're close enough, I can get to there in an hour. Yeah. And I think that's really what specializes it as well. Yeah. But Jose, before we let you go a little bit, can we maybe talk about what it's like? You've been here for over 5 years, half a decade of your life. I don't know if it feels that way, but it's been over 5 years. You joined in April of 2020, I believe.
Correct.
What a crazy time that was.
In the middle of COVID.
In the middle of the pandemic. Thank you so much for your half decade of service to this organization.
It's been a
can you talk about that a little bit, what it's really like to work for this organization?
Absolutely.
And really showcase to maybe even potential and future team members of what it is like to work for a company like EXP?
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. So I started my produce life over 20 years ago working for another company that specialized on bananas and plantains. We had a little bit of experience, maybe very shy on pineapples and other items, but the main items were always bananas and plantains. So my background is very rich on those two items. And EXP was my customer back then. Exp Group was my best customer. Listen, everybody that knows Emil and you guys are very easy customers to have. Everybody wants to sell to EXP. I always say this, I'm a buyer, like I said before. I honestly tell you guys, there's no easy buying company than EXP because they know that we pay our bills. and they know that we're going to pay it on time, and they know we're going to be very fair. But coming back to how I got here. So you were my customer, and I was selling to you guys bananas and plantains back then, and it was fantastic.
I remember.
And then, we reached a point where I was given a proposal to work for you guys. And since it's been fantastic. Look at me now. I'm selling cilantro.
Yeah.
I never seen cilantro in my life. But again, it's a service. So working for EXP for these 5 years has been an experience. It's really been the experience of my life. I learn every day. Produce is so beautiful. It's just so nice. And the people, the customers that we serve are so much good people that really makes it easy working for EXP and doing what I do and I love to do for an organization that is so kind and supportive of oral roles. And I say this from my heart. I truly found light. This is the light I found in my life. This is a beautiful organization to work for, very easy and very service-driven. And this is what makes a difference, again, on what we do. And I love to be here. 5 years is like 5 minutes, honestly. It's fantastic. It's been great. I'm looking forward for 5 more and 10 more.
Cheers to the next 5 and 10 more. I think very well said, Jose. And we're going to leave it at that. And I think it's so important when you really grow and scale an organization. A lot of times organizations really lose their ethos as they grow and scale. And what is their credo? What is their mission statement? And as you see, when you walk into the office, exactly what you see every day is the placard of our credo, a placard of our mission statement. And I think it's really important about showcasing what it is like to work for this organization and what that encompasses. But more importantly, having great team members like yourself that have been here for half a decade, and we can toast to the next 10, 15, and 20 years. So,
Anthony, there's just one last thing.
Course.
You just said it. So that growth, that learning experience that I had here is being proven now. EXP offers this opportunity to his team members. I started here as a buyer of Ecuadorian products. My first title was Director of Ecuador Affairs.
I remember.
And that's the only thing that I was buying, plantains, a little bit of bananas, and that was that. And I find myself now handling mangoes and, every country in Latin America that we do business with today. So yes, definitely, you get growth opportunities here that are fantastic that you just need to use, and take advantage of.
Well, it's well said, Jose, and I just want to thank everyone so much for listening here. Our introductory kind of discussion, and I really want to frame it as a discussion about what it's like to work at EXP Group, wanting to have great team members like Jose, join our team, and that's the most important thing when we look at a business is its ethos, exactly how they operate, and really understanding the pillars of our company, which are quality, service, brand, culture. And there's no better person at this organization that embodies the pillars of organization than you, Jose.
Oh, thank you very much. That's so kind of you.
So thank you. Well, it's the truth.
Thank you for the invitation. I'd love to do the podcast, and I'm sure we're going to be doing many more.
Of course. We'll do many more, and stay tuned. And thank you so much for listening, and we'll be with you later. Thank you.